Here's the situation in Australia so far. More than 1 million people have downloaded the government's COVID Safe app less than 24 hours after its launch. Queensland and WA are preparing to ease some restrictions. 4 new cases in Tasmania have been linked to the state's northwest cluster. To Victoria, where it's standing firm over school closures, the Andrews government has rejected calls from the federal government to reopen schools before the end of term 2. And 150 Australians have touched down in Melbourne after the pandemic left them stranded in Argentina. Let's take a look at the coronavirus curve. Now, there's been a steady decline since a peak in March, including 430 cases on the 24th. But what you can see there is that gradual climb down. This is now the data we've collected for every 3 days because it has been over a month. That's too much to fit on a graphic. But what you can see there is when you do look at those 3 daily intervals, we are seeing that real steady climb down, which has authorities optimistic. The other thing authorities are asking us to do is download this new COVID Safe app. Now let's take a look at the situation overseas now. There are now almost 3 million cases around the world and more than 206,000 people have been killed. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's returned to Downing Street and is raring to go 2 weeks after being discharged from the ICU. Spain and Italy will begin easing restrictions. Italy's manufacturing industry will reopen on May 4, and Spanish children have been allowed outside for the first time in 6 weeks. New York State has recorded its lowest number of daily deaths for a month, with 367 fatalities. Donald Trump won't front the media for the second day in a row in the aftermath of his disinfectant comments, claiming it's not worth his time or effort. Peru is facing a rapidly escalating crisis, recording over 2,000 cases overnight. The country took early aggressive action against the virus, but is still suffering one of South America's largest outbreaks. Let's take a look now at the new cases overnight. These are the global figures. You can see the USA leading that charge on 22,000 new cases overnight. Russia's reported 6,300. The UK has reported 4,463, although we know that they aren't hitting their testing targets quite yet. Spain has reported 2,870. It seems like they're coming off the other side of the curve there. Brazil, 2,692, Turkey, 2,357, and Italy, 2,324. Here are the new fatality figures overnight. These are also showing that the USA is leading on that figure as well, 1,085. The UK, 413. Spain, Italy and France all sitting in the 200s. Brazil, just 160, and Turkey, 99.